Welcome to Casey's Cozy Garage, and I did the one thing that you're supposed to do when a new thing comes out to replace the old thing. You impulse buy it. This is the Element Enduro IFS2 system. Welcome to my table of chaos. This was my first 10th scale vehicle. It has a special place in my heart. This is its second body. It's seen lots and lots of miles. But one thing that does annoy me, I love how special the independent front suspension is in this truck. Ground clearance is basically nothing. This setup is just, it sits like that, right? And you can't even run over a 24th scale tire without scraping. The reason for this is because the way they've designed the first generation IFS is that they put the attachment of the lower control arm at the bottom of the caster block. Whereas in the Gen 2, that attachment point is actually above the bottom mount of the control arm, which gives you a percentage of ground clearance that you're missing out by having it on the bottom. It digs into every rock, and you have to drive it a certain way. You have to approach every obstacle, basically trying to straddle everything. To fix that is this new IFS system. Behold the new difference maker in the world. This originally came on, I think, the new Element Enduro, and it was part of one of their budget rigs, but this here, oh yes, look at that travel. Just glorious. It doesn't have the ground clearance problem nearly as bad. I think it is about the same height as the bottom of the pumpkin in the rear. I did not sound very good in this clip, and that's why I'm voicing over it. So I don't know, I'm touching that and showing this off, and it's just so much different than the original one and so much better. You can take my word for it or take my word that I explained it sort of okay when I was filming this clip. One thing past me was trying to explain right here was that the new system has a more direct linkage to the servo, so the steering doesn't have to go through such a mechanical disadvantage that the original one had. Another big improvement is if we look at how much slop, and it is so sloppy. Like your mom last night, this truck that has a ton of, I think even miles on it, almost no slop. This one has metal right there. That is a plastic ball, and the other one, that's metal, that's metal. Dude, stop showing off your balls. So I think this system will hold up a lot better over time. This should be a straightforward replacement into this. After attempting to explain to the camera that this has a spot for a winch and that it has the cheaper version of Element shocks instead of the nice metal-bodied ones, I began to put the thing together. Ready? Let's go! That used to be in there. You guys are witnessing a genius in the making. Now it's time to slap that into that. How hard could it be? It in fact was very hard, in which the following editing transition does not convey. Well, we went from that to that. We're watching some TV and got some parts. Each episode of One Tree Hill is roughly an hour, and between the undiagnosed ADHD, figuring out who Lucas actually loves, and waiting to see if Nathan will ever make it to the NBA, I can say that this swap took about half a season. Oh yes, that's looking way nice. That's a ton more ground clearance. We can clear this tire now by quite a lot. But we're not ready to drive the thing just yet. It is a project in progress. So then I proceeded over the next week to work on this truck after work every day and have no life. I added some light buckets that were painted to look like DRLs. I added an interior that is half painted and half brown exposed PLA because I realized halfway through I do not actually like painting. I added this functional makeup bag. I meant tent pouch because I'm a real man that plays with real toys. And then we have these 1/10 scale duffel bags, which I think are adorable, and I am actually going to store some batteries and snacks in here, and then some other 3D printed things made by Night Customs. After days and days of staring at it endlessly and tinkering with it, why does that always sound wrong? It was time to finally get it outside and see how that new front suspension that we all came to see actually drives. So we got it out and we brought it to Team Garage Hack in Colorado. It has been really snowy, so I could only use the indoor course. But the first really apparent difference between this and the IFS1 is the ground clearance is usable now. When you look online, a lot of people will consider the IFS1 a shovel, and it digs into rocks, especially technical ones like these we were crawling right here. And that shovel is no longer a thing on the IFS2. The skid is a lot smoother, and there happens to be just a lot more ground clearance with that new lower control arm setup with this IFS. The other thing I noticed was that there's a lot more flex in the front end with this IFS2 kit, and I don't know if that's because my rig is now heavier than it was out of the box, but I did notice that a lot of the flex was more evenly distributed between the front and the rear of the vehicle, and I wonder if that has to do anything with the setup, or if that the geometry of the IFS2 is actually better. As you can see here, we are enjoying and really babying the truck, trying not to damage it, because these competition setups, these clubhouses, are very taxing on trucks, especially if you have scale builds rather than like super rock crawler bouncer builds. But all in all, I would say the IFS2 is a worthy upgrade, especially if you have an IFS1 vehicle made by Element. And I think that these kits are adaptable to most platforms. You could put it on an SCX if you were creative enough and had the strength, but I think it's a very good upgrade. Well, that's it, everyone. I've been Casey from Casey's Cozy Garage. Please leave me a like and a comment and subscribe. It really helps me. I'd love to hit 200 subscribers pretty soon. And yeah, just thanks for watching. I enjoy your company. Thank you and good day. Oh wait, thanks, and I hope that you have a good day. Yeah, I nailed the ending. Let's go.